Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL, Super Bowl champion, already been an MVP, all of that in just 2 years as a starter. It's unbelievable. His agent was talking, and Mahomes actually talked about this. Rob G, do we have audio of any of this? Okay, but I'm gonna ask Rob G to read it and kind of give us the context. I think it's very interesting stuff, especially in light of what's going on with Dak Prescott as well.
That's right, Chris. Now, earlier, might have been late last week, actually, Pat Mahomes' agent, Lee Steinberg, was asked by a reporter, he says, hey, this is probably going to be the easiest negotiation you ever had with Pat Mahomes. Just whatever, $40 million plus, sign, seal, deliver it. Well, he kind of wasn't so sure about it. He responded saying, you know what, he's going to get the deal done, but we got to make sure that the Chiefs have a good roster because, quote, quarterback greatness is judged by Super Bowls, end quote. So that's what he said. Now, today, Pat Mahomes spoke to Therese Paylor of Yahoo Sports. He's a very good NFL writer. And one of the quotes that he had in the article about his contract was this from Pat Mahomes, quote, obviously, I want to get a contract. Obviously, I want to provide for my family for a long time, do everything like that. But I want to make sure I do it the smart way, do it the right way. So I don't know exactly what that is yet, but I know that I want that my people and the Chiefs people will talk about it, will do it at the right time, and for the betterment of the team, end quote.
Well, it sounds like Patrick Mahomes is a lot like me. All right, Patrick Mahomes is just saying, I'm going to get paid.
Yep.
I'm going to get my money. But if I need to, for the betterment of the team, if it means we get to keep Travis Kelce or lose Travis Kelce, then I'll take a little bit of a haircut. So if I could get $43 million a year, but we lose Travis Kelce, then, and I take $40 million and we get to keep him, then I'll take 40 and keep him. Now, the situation is this, VJ. Patrick Mahomes is fortunate. They're not in a position where that's the situation. They already got Travis Kelce locked up. They already got Tyreek Hill locked up and under contract.
Yep.
They already got Damian Williams, the running back who played great in the Super Bowl, locked up. So he doesn't have to. And I'm not, and I think Mahomes might be like this too. I'm not saying I'm just going to do the franchise a favor. That they could, I want $43 million. They only want to give me 40. We're not going to lose players, good players, if I take 43. They can afford it. Give me 43. You're a billionaire. Give me my money. But I would take a little bit less if it meant I could keep a critical part of the team together because, as Lee Steinberg, his agent, said, it's about rings.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes wants to go down as the GOAT. I have said it. I was one of the first. People mocked me, especially the guy that usually is in your seat.
I know.
And he said, I'm crazy for saying Patrick Mahomes has GOAT potential. He does, but the way he's going to realize that potential is to win more Super Bowls. I like his attitude. Where you at?
I love his attitude. This is just another example of how the vanilla bros in sports are winning, man.
Knowledge.
They winning. They knowledge. We smart. We know what we doing.
Too.
Exactly, because he's a vanilla brother too. And this is just super smart. Not only that, he has it's a different world. They got so many endorsements. They make money so many other ways. And I've always said this to people. I would love $150 million. Would also love $200 million. Cool. But if the $200 million was going to affect my longevity of what's going to happen to me and happen in my situation, and the 150 makes things more concrete and more solid, I'm okay without that other $50 million because I'm not going out doing frivolous spending and stupid spending and buying things that depreciate the minute you purchase them. He strikes me as that kind of guy, and he's thinking that way. And like you said, at the end of the day, it's about them things that you put on your fingers, those rings, the numbers and all of that is cute. That's for fantasy guys like me. But those rings, that's where you stand at the end of the day.
No question. And here's the thing. Even in your example, if you were a frivolous spender, It's $150 million.
Exactly. I know.
I mean, you're still gonna be fine. And that's my thing. We're not talking about the difference between him making $350,000 a year and $5 million a year.
Yeah, that's different.
We're talking about 43 and 40 or 40 and 37.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're going to be filthy rich anyway.
Yeah.
So make sure you're in a great position to help your team and help you win big. And I like it. Now, that leads us to what is going on in Dallas with the Cowboys.
Ouch.
The reports are coming out. I'm not going to act like I know their entire cap situation and all that. But the reports are saying they don't look like they're going to be able to afford both Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper. And I'm saying this, VeeJay. Because the reports are that Dallas has offered Amari Cooper a contract around $33 million a year.
Yep, correct.
They probably offered that knowing that if we give him this, we can keep Amari.
Yeah.
So if he is insisting on, say, being the highest paid quarterback in the league at $36 million a year, and it is going to cost them Amari Cooper, then I say to Dak Prescott, and I say it loud and clearly, take the 33 and keep Amari, because as much as I like Dak Prescott, you're not Pat Mahomes. You're not Aaron Rodgers. You're not one of these superstar quarterbacks that can survive without an Amari Cooper type receiver. I mean, it's tough for the great ones.
True.
And it'd be very tough on him. So I'm just saying, I don't know if that's the difference, but if it is, take a little less and keep your number one guy.
Well, here's the thing. Let's go a little deeper. They're not even going to be able to keep their number one corner in Byron Jones.
Right. And
There's
I've
already
kind of
rumors.
resigned myself to losing him.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because you still need guys that could cover in this league. I played corner in high school, so I have an infatuation and a love for
You
corner.
were a big cornerback.
Yeah, well,
man.
I mean,
My goodness.
this is grown man.
You look more like
this
a
is,
defensive
listen,
tackle,
Listen,
bro.
first of all, that I take that as an insult. Number one.
No.
I'm just messing with you. Number two, this is grown man stuff, man. We talking 25 years ago when I played corner, all conference corner, by the way, in high school. This is all
everybody
biscuits
say
and,
that now.
This is all cheese
Hey,
grits and
Rob
biscuits
G.
and fried chicken now.
Rob G told me he was all conference, which I
Well,
definitely don't believe.
listen.
It's
I can
easy
pull
to
it
sit
up.
up here now.
I can
Yeah,
pull.
that
Hey,
was
listen,
nasty.
listen. Union High School, Clinton, North Carolina, 1994-95. My junior year, I was an all-conference corner. I led the conference in
Junior year?
my
What happened
junior
your
year.
senior year?
My senior year, my parents were military. My senior year, I was back in Virginia playing at a school called Potomac High School.
Okay.
So I didn't get a chance to go back there and continue my career at Union High School. But yes, and led the conference in interceptions that year.
Okay.
So yes, those are all facts. But back to Dak Prescott. Listen, I listen to you and Rob a lot, and I listen to you guys go back and forth on Dak Prescott. I disagree with a lot that you both say about Dak Prescott, because I feel that Zeke is so important on that team. I know this is going to sound blasphemous, and I know people are going to rip me for it. Receivers do kind of come and go. They really do in the NFL. And if you have the best receiver in the league, doesn't mean you're going to win. Best receiver in the league last year was Michael Thomas. Somebody tell me how far the Saints go. DeAndre Hopkins. Somebody tell me how far the Texans went. You don't have to have that superstar number one receiver, in my opinion, when you have a great O-line and you have a great a running game, as they do. So I would take care of my quarterback first, and then maybe you got these guys coming out of college this year. You got a lot of underclassmen and receiver coming out next year. We don't know what's going to happen with the Bengals and A.J. Green next year. They're going to franchise him this year, but it'll be free next year. I think you pay Dak. Now, the 40, you're saying 33. From what I'm hearing, Dak's asking for, he wants 40.
I mean, there have been reports about that.
That he wants 40. So
if that means I'm going to lose Amari Cooper, I think Dak should take less. And I agree with your overall point in that if you don't, like, having a great receiver doesn't mean you're going to win the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
We've seen some of the greatest. Julio Jones is in Atlanta.
Randy Moss.
Michael Thomas, Randy Moss. We can go on and on down the line. DeAndre Hopkins.
Tim Brown.
But usually it's because the quarterback is so good that he can make more out of mediocre or average receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dak.
But
Dak's not that type of guy. Dak is not the type of guy that doesn't need at least one great receiver. We saw the difference between Dak and the Cowboys before and after Amari Cooper.
True.
He needs him. Like, there's no question about it. This year, he wasn't throwing for close to 5,000 yards and 30-plus touchdowns without Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with you in general. If he were Aaron Rodgers, I'd say, yeah, okay, we could survive without Amari. But he's not Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
So I think that's the difference.
Well, let's take a step deeper. If you remember when I was on a show with you before, we talked about Zeke when he had first got that money. And I said my exact quote on this show was, ever since Zeke got that money, he'll never be the same Zeke again. He'll never run that hard again. He'll never have that passion, that drive, that thrust, because we know the running back shelf in the NFL is very low. And I get and I understand it. I'm not knocking Zeke for that. But I think if we had that Zeke, that the maturity, the maturation process that Dak has gone through now, we had the first or the second year Zeke now, then I think you could lose Amari. You have Gallup, and you can get something in the draft this year. I don't think Dak needs the top receiver. I do think if you put 3 A- or with maybe a B+ guy and a B+ A- tight end,
a lot. They got 3 A- guys.
Well, no, well Gallup, to me, Gallup's an A- guy.
He drops a lot of balls.
He drops some passes, but he's also young. And that comes with maturation. That comes with time. I just think that if Zeke's running hard, it does mask
Zeke
over
wasn't
other.
Horrible.
I don't want to hear about the yards per carry. If
Why
that's where you're
not?
gonna go,
Why
because
not?
to me it's such almost a hidden worthless stat because
how's it worthless?
Because the rookie year he went 4.4, and then the last season he was at 4.6. But it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same Zeke. It wasn't the same running. It wasn't the same force. And listen,
I will give you that. I don't think he was quite the same.
No,
but you're acting like he fell off.
No,
by 50%.
Not 50%, but when you fall off in the running game, even 15 to 20%, it affects the entire offense.
He was
and I do
he
think
was
that
tied
happened.
for 3rd in the league in rushing.
That's fine, but guys don't have the yards they use. Like, okay, who led the league in rushing last year? Derrick Henry did, right? It was 1,700 yards somewhere in that area?
There, yeah.
Okay. So, but we do come from, Chris, you and I, we're older guys. We come from an era where there would be 8 or 9 guys over 1,500 yards, man. Like the era of that back that just goes out regardless of the money he's making and just goes and get it. We just don't live there. Like, trust me, once Derrick Henry get that contract, you'll never see them numbers again. When he gets read up, you'll never see 1,700 yards out of Derrick Henry. You run when you're running broke, or not broke, because none of these guys are broke, but they're not 20
I don't
million.
know. I mean, because you dudes got pride.
Money.
I want to go down. Yeah, once I get my money, but I want to go down as a great running back.
Do they all though, man? It takes a special.
I think they do.
It takes a special.
And like I said, Zeke wasn't bad. 1,357 yards, 4.5 yards a carry, 12 touchdowns. That's second most he's ever had.
Zeke needs to be 1,700 yard back a year.
He's never done that.
He's got but
he's never done that.
I think
his best year's rookie year, he went 1,600.
Oh, well, I'll take 16. Then
Last
I need
year
16.
was 14.
I need 1,650 and 11 plus touchdowns out of him every single year, and I need it in an aggressive.
You are perfect to fill in for Rob Parker because you're a feelings guy. See, I'm a fact guy. You're a feelings guy, just like Rob.
Because sometimes facts lie.
This will be your theme song too.
First of all,
we're gonna throw it out to you guys. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. Should Patrick Mahomes be willing to take less money to keep the Chiefs in Super Bowl contention? What's your general philosophy on this? Let's start with Randy in Seattle. Randy, you're on with the Odd Couple.
Hey, what's going on, Chris?
What's up, brother?
Hey, so, no, I think he should absolutely take as much as they're willing to pay him. And I don't think anybody should discourage him from doing that. So the example I give is my guy that I got out here, Russell Wilson. And I think Pat Mahomes is a step above Russell Wilson. But Russell took a max contract, and Russell, he's a force multiplier. He makes everybody else better.
Okay, how's that working out, though, so far? How's that working out so far?
Exactly.
They're nice. They're relevant. They get to the playoffs. They look like they close to winning the Super Bowl?
I do. I think that we're close. I think that we're close. Everyone thought that after what happened in the Super Bowl that it was going to be a complete blow-up, and it wasn't a blow-up. It wasn't really a rebuild. I mean, Seattle has still remained competitive every single year, and that's because of Russell Wilson.
Right.
So
I agree.
Pat Mahomes can absolutely do that. And anybody that says don't get your value, the only people that you're doing a favor to is the owners.
Actually, no,
So
you might be, and again, he's not in that exact situation where they're gonna lose Kelsey Hill or Damian Williams if he takes more money. But what if they were, and he loses Travis Kelce? You're doing your teammates a favor. You might be able to keep a Travis Kelce if you take a couple million less. I think it's worth something like that. Let's go to Keith in Virginia. Keith, where you at on this?
Chris, my man, how we doing tonight?
Great, man. How are you?
Doing well. Hey, I agree with Rob with his take on Patty. I think a lot of people crown these guys, these kids, a little too soon. And listen, Patty is phenomenal, and he is lucky to be in the spot that he is, where Tyreek is locked up, Kelsey's locked up. But you know as well as I do, Chris, a lot of these guys anymore, when it comes to 2 years left on their contract, they're looking for another extension. They want to get paid, which brings me to Dak. I think Jerry and them dropped the ball on Dak. You walked away from Romo. Okay, so at that point, you're saying that Dak is your guy. So why didn't you go ahead and take care of this contract before Wentz was signed, before, all these other contracts came out? And I think Dak's looking at everybody saying, well, Patty's going to be around $50 million, which, okay, that's fine. So now Dak wants to be somewhere in the 40, 42 range because he knows what Patty's getting ready to look at. And with what VeeJay said about Zeke, I'm with you. I completely disagree. Zeke, you have to feed that locomotive early. So I think last year was a lot of game planning and schemes where Zeke kind of got lost in the mix of getting Dak going and so forth. And with him getting paid, I don't think that's true. Where was DeMarcus Lawrence at last year? He just got paid, and I would say that he completely disappeared. I don't want to keep Byron Jones. Byron Jones, I would say, has been average to below average since he's been drafted. And I think that we have a pick around 16 or 17, I believe. And I think that the draft's deep enough where we should keep Dak, keep Amari, let Byron go. Whether he goes
I'm
to Philly
fine
or
with that.
I'm
fine with keeping Dak and Amari and losing Byron. I would like to keep Byron, but if I have to lose him, okay. But I think they definitely need to keep Amari. Let's go to Jody in Atlanta. Jody, you're on with the Odd Couple.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
What's up, man?
Doing
We're good.
great, thanks.
Hey, I agree with you, Chris. I think he realizes that how close that Super Bowl was in that 3rd and 15, how that one play changed the whole game, that the defense could be way better if he took less money. You know what I mean? He won't have to be put in that situation with the kind of arm talent he has and the kind of IQ he has too at a young age. If he can get less money now and get paid when he's older, like Brady's trying to do, man, that's a win-win for everybody. The city, him, and his family. You know what I mean?
It could go like this. If you could make $420 million over the course of your career and win 4 Super Bowls, or you could make $500 million and win 1 or 2, what I would take the 420 and 4. Because then he might be considered the GOAT.
No, he can't be considered the GOAT with only 4.
Really? If he goes 4-0 with ridiculous numbers?
No, because Montana and Brady still have more than that, and either one.
First of all, Montana's got 4.
Yeah,
but
Montana's also undefeated in those Super Bowls.
But that's what I'm saying. If he went 4-0, his numbers are going to be through the roof. I don't think he has to get 6 or more to surpass Brady, because his individual numbers are going to dwarf Brady's. And then if you're 4-0 in the Super Bowl.
Well, you know me, I'm a situational guy. Yeah, the numbers may dwarf, but when you put the film on, Brady still made all the plays, all the throws, all the drives when it mattered the most.
Mahomes, too.
Yeah, Mahomes. Yeah, Mahomes,
I mean, we're projecting.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I just don't think it's not like rings is a part of it, but rings isn't all that it is.
Hey, just a quick question: you guys are making it sound like that if they keep Amari, then they are a title contender. You and I, we were like really opposite on this the last time I was here. Everybody thinks Dallas has this enormous talent. I do not think their roster as talented as everybody else thinks. I'm trying to figure out what roster are you guys looking at, especially on the defensive end. Now, that's not up to Dak to have to fix that. That's not up to Dak to have to fix that by taking less money and fix a whole defense. The money he's going to give up is not going to fix the defense.
The whole team, but for him, it's critical to have a receiver like Amari, in my view. Let's go to Marty in Kentucky. Marty, you're on with the Odd Couple.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
We are great, man. How are
Outstanding.
you?
I'm doing good. You guys, I just want to say on that last comment that most of that's just Cowboys fans looking through Cowboy goggles. They say we a lot, but you never hear them say we haven't been to the conference championship in 25 years. But on this subject, I do believe that you take a risk in an investment, and you don't really get to a next level in anything in life without taking those risks. And I think that Pat Mahomes is so good that he could invest in himself by taking less money, by knowing I'm so good that I can take less money and I can have a team around me and I can win a lot of Super Bowls and I can make a lot of money winning because, TB12, how many guys out there have a brand? Winning makes money. And if Pat Mahomes, I think, would invest in himself by taking less money.
No question. That's a good call, Marty. Yeah. What's happening, y'all? It's Chris Broussard.
I'm Rob Parker.
And we are
The Odd Couple. Check us out as often as you can on YouTube.
And always remember, I'm Oscar, and he's Felix.
Oh, man. Are you serious?